Alrighty, I have my weekly focus list here. I'm going to run through that real quick, and then I'm going to write down some of my favorites, and I'm really going to focus on for potential entries of this week. Like I said in my prior review of overall sectors, the market's kind of choppy. I did go through XLF, XLI, XLP, and XLU. There are a few names that I liked, but some names are just dragging it down, and other names aren't going higher. So I just kind of looked at the names that I like more. All right, down right here, bottom right corner, this is my focus list. That's kind of where I scan through everything. I send it to my focus list. And then after I go through here, I'm going to write down my favorites out of all of this. Let me orientate here. I love trade ideas here. This stuff is awesome. You can see short flow, short growth, all this stuff shows up here too. I have the daily and the weekly. Red line is 5-day MA, 10, and light blue, or the white is 10 EMA, light blue is 20, yellow is 50, and then the pink is 200, not shown on SN. All right, then I have this organized by Trade Ideas Score, which factors in technical analysis setups as well as paired with fundamentals. So I like looking at this score, so I just trust that number one, the technicals look good that I like to see, and then the fundamentals are decent as well in the background. So firstly, SN, this actually is one of my favorites. You can see in the weekly, we had a huge pump up, some sideways chop consolidation, which was right here. And then last week, Friday, Thursday, Wednesday, Tuesday, so Monday popped out. Now we're getting a little pullback into it. And I want to see if it tests and hold this breakout area from this tight consolidation. So I do have an alert there. Vizio, this guy's just been kind of grinding up the 10, 20, slowly going. What I like about this is that it has a 14 days to cover with a 30% short float. So eventually, I feel like it's going to, once it maybe breaks this 1130-ish area, it might really start to get grooving as shorts feel the pressure. All right. Visa is next. I like this one. It did break this down trend line here, and then kind of flagged to the 10 EMA, pushed up. It's hitting this resistance right now. I'm looking for a little pullback, maybe a hold of the 10 EMA or 20 EMA, and then potential entry for a push higher. It's not one of my favorite looks for the week, though. CNK, this is indeed one of my favorite looks for the week. Weekly, you can see it's been grinding nicely. It's been grinding, respecting the 5, 10, pulled back to the 20, had some nice volume to support it, and then it broke out of this consolidation area here on Thursday, pulled back Friday, and it looked like low volume firstly, lower volume. It does have a little bottoming tail here at the 10 after a 20 EMA tag. This might start pushing up. I'd be interested in a break of Thursday's high on 9.5. So I do like this one. CB, interesting. Not my favorite look. Broke this weekly consolidation here around 275. Looking for a pullback around that area for it to hold. PM, what is it? Philip Morris. This has just been on a tear on the weekly. You can see it's just been grinding up this way. Maybe look at the 10 EMA, maybe a pullback to 20, but it hasn't even touched the 20 since early mid-July. So this is just a nice grinder up to 10, if that interests you. PGR, same thing, broke out of this consolidation here around 225, and has just been trending up. The 5 has pulled back to the 10. We might start to get some selling here and maybe a retest of the 229. Not one of my favorites, but decent. CL, Colgate. It's been grinding on the weekly. It's just been grinding higher. Broke this downtrend line here. It's just been respecting the 5. Might pull back to the 10. I do have an alert set there at the 10 EMA. Not my favorite to enter at the moment. KMB, Kimberly-Clark, broke out of these highs. Looks like it's coming back to retest it. I have an alert set. Duke, I believe this is actually one of my favorites. Yeah, this is one of my favorites for the week. We see a nice move, nice consolidation, kind of a little rounding on the weekly down here, broke out of that area. Now it's kind of coming back to retest this. So what I'm looking for is a retest of that 10 EMA, also retest of this like breakout zone here for potential entry. So Duke is indeed one of my favorites to watch for potential entry of the week, depending on what the market wants to do, obviously. CPB, also a pretty decent one, broke out of this consolidation. Looking on the weekly, broke out right there. I like the red day engulfed by a green bar on higher volume. So that does tell me it does want to continue higher. I like CPB as potential entry this week as well. VTR, this thing's just been grinding up the 10 EMA. I'm not going to look for an entry for it, but if you guys, if you like those slow grinders, have at it. Allstate broke out of this consolidation area around here, right? Or range, and then tight consolidation broke out. Now it's getting a little bit of selling. So we'll see what it does around this area. I'm going to create a price alert and go there. Next, McCormick Place broke out of this consolidation, right? Hasn't really pulled back yet. I do have an alert here, so not my favorite when it comes to like right away this week, but decent potential as a retest of that breakout. Zeta, I like this as a potential short. High volume, breaking out large green, and then on Friday it just got engulfed by a red. Now it is on lower volume, but this could be a, hey, there's a ton of buyers, who else is going to buy? This could also be unloading, so a lot of selling was going here. A lot of selling, no more buyers left. This might be engulfing top on the weekly here, red bar, higher volume. This could be an intermediate top, who knows? I like this as a short idea. So I'm going to put, I do have some short ideas and then some long ideas. So I'm going to put Zeta as a potential short idea. I put a stop above this high here. And if I'm wrong, then I'm wrong. I know my risk and I'll move on. Speaking of broke out of this consolidation, this little rounding bottom here. Okay, came back. Now it's retesting the 20 EMA. There's a huge whip out here, pull back up. So it just kind of keeps chopping down. I'm just looking for selling to stop. So I do like on for this week. I'm going to keep a close eye on that one. No pun intended. CHD, another one of my favorites here. You can see it broke this downtrend line. It is creating an uptrend here. It broke the highs, this like resistance area around 101 to 103 on volume. Nice push. And then it's just kind of chopping sideways. As price accepts up here, we're getting new longs initiated, and it's now over the short-term EMA, it's over the 50 SMA, and then here's the 200 that is respecting as well. So I do like CHD as a potential entry for this week as one of my favorites. Kava, I am in this already. I'm going to let this baby roll. And just kind of move it up on the 30. I'll just follow my plan and trade management. There's a video if you want to watch how I did that. Altria Group, a nice grinder up the 10 EMA. At the weekly, you can see it's been up for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 weeks straight. 9 weeks was last week, leaving a topping tail. Maybe a little pullbacks coming in, maybe to the 20, maybe to the 50, who knows? I will be looking for a potential entry spot, not a favorite of mine right off the bat. RTX, I do like this one. If you look, we see a gap here. Firstly, we can put an anchor to that gap, see where it's coming close to the anchor VWAP around 116.85. I'll create a price thing there. And then it's also kind of coming into the breakout area here. So I'm going to look for, it's under the 10, it's at the 20 EMA. I'm going to look for some buying, maybe a little chop sideways for a couple of days and then start to roll back upwards, and the stop could go below wherever that is. But looking at this is an engulfing week. So we'll see. Maybe it comes back down to 109. That'd be interesting. I'll set a price alert there just in case. Maybe it goes down there close to the gap. Maybe it tries to fill the gap, fails to do so, and then rolls back up. We'll monitor. Who knows? SFM, I did take a trade on this. I had a small gain on it, and I'm not in it anymore. This might be a little bear flag here. It could just drop and maybe tag the 50. I'm not really interested in that. I'm just keeping it on there because I already traded it. Sats, I like this big old pump up. I'm going to set an anchor VWAP to this high volume bar and see what it does when it comes on to respect it, maybe in a shorter time frame. There's a VWAP. It'll chop around. So it's around the 2160th area. We can see what it does around there, what it wants to do with that consolidation on Friday. On the weekly, you can see, it probably had a nice little stop run. And the thing is it closed above that. So maybe we can get a test of 2350 and then 2487. Interesting. I'll keep it on a closer watch than the other names. So Sats will be up there for me too. MasterCard, you can see, look at the weekly here. It's hitting resistance, but it is, broke this really tight consolidation of about a week and a half, broke out of it, come back in. Now it's coming back to it where the 10 EMA is close and it's closer to the 20 EMA. So maybe a tag of the 20, enter on there, stop loss just below the 20 EMA and a close of that could be a play. I will set an alert there just in case I want to do that. Alrighty, next, Coca-Cola, break out of this, coming back. This is another retest play. As you can see, I like retest plays, but I like to wait for it to push away from that level before instead of just me blindly hopping in. LNTH, as you can see, as we're getting lower, these scores are getting lower, so they're getting not as good. They're getting crappier and crappier, basically. So this is actually a short idea engulfing here higher. Well, I don't know. I'm not going to say much about the volume. This is a lower volume-ish stock that I typically trade, but I'll still trade above 500, but 500 is basically my low. Consolidation, it is at this area. I want to see what it does, whether it breaks through down or holds and starts pushing up. It's more of a short-term, a short look for me, in my opinion. FIS, you can see, look at the weekly here. It broke this nice gentle downtrend line, broke the highs, okay, a couple of weeks ago. And now it looks like it just wants to come back, maybe retest that. So that is indeed what I will be looking out for. That's not a hey, enter on Monday, Tuesday type look. FTAI, this is a short look for me. It was ranging here, okay, broke out of that range, and then huge red bar on volume, consolidated, broke these lows, red bar on volume. If it does not push away here, and accepts back into this range of 112, we'll call it, and to 94, I'm going to look for this thing to break the 50 SMA here and then probably head back to 94. So FTAI, it is a short look for me, and it's probably one of my favorites. It just has to look into here. I mean, maybe, if I get a push up to 115 and start selling off intraday, I can enter around there with the stop above at like 121 and see what happens. That's a potential play. CRMD, I like this back here when it had that large volume chop, right? Big break here, chop, break. I missed that entire move. That's okay though. So consolidated up here, broke those lows, sold off to the 20 EMA, then got bought up on increased volume. I like this because looking at the short float, it's 19%. It's got 13 days to cover. So if this is all the selling that's going to come out, shorts are going to start feeling pressure again, and they will start pushing price higher. And I'm not shocked that we're getting a little bit of resistance here because look where we're at on the weekly. So maybe this is the selling, and that might be all the selling that we get. I am going to put CRMD on my favorites list there. All right, ZM Zoom. We can see a big old pump here. There's my anchor right there on volume. It is below that anchor VWAP from that volume day now. So institutions might be like, hey, this is a nice price to get into. We're getting a better price than the average person from this high volume day. It does need to break this down trend line. Looking on the weekly though, I mean, huge pump. gentle sell-off, low volume. This is that's kind of the volume pattern, the sell-off pattern that you want to see. High volume on green, that's pretty aggressive buying, right? And then slowly selling off. So I do kind of like this. I'm going to put an alert there. And then I'll put Zoom on, one of my favorites too, just as a close look, potential entry if it wants to break those, maybe Friday, Thursday's highs and that downtrend line. ASTS, this is a short idea. This thing has been ripping. I think everybody knows it, right? Look at all these topping tails. We obviously have sellers here, broke these lows of this consolidation basically of the past week. So consolidated for 4 days, broke higher, failed to sustain this break because there's still too many sellers up here, specifically at this 36.61 level, I guess. And so bids just drop, right? If you're trying to buy, why would you buy higher if there's supply here? So you're not going to. So you drop the bids. Here comes price. We're getting increased volume on the way down. So this is actually a short play for me. If I were to enter short in this thing, I would be in and out rather quickly. Like I said, I'm changing it just because of market ideas and how it's going. I'm not looking to hold super long. Mankind, look at weekly down here. You can see we broke the weekly highs, right? On volume last week, 2 weeks ago. Then last week, we had some gentle selling on lower volume. Okay. So if we can break this downtrend line, and then maybe, we could always use an anchor VWAP from this initial move here, which it is below, but it's putting in a bottoming tail at the 10 EMA, close to the 20 EMA as well. I don't know why it's doing that. I do like Mankind as a favorite for this week. TAP, I know this is one of my favorites as well. I like the large burst, okay, large volume burst, and then slow sell off of that. So we look for a downtrend line break. It broke these highs here, looking for a retest. And so if it holds that, starts curling back and pushing higher, I would be interested in TAP as well. Rocket, kind of chopping sideways, pulling back to 20. Not super fan. This is a short idea. I was looking long for this thing. I think I actually did take a trade right here. I was looking for it to break this consolidation. Obviously, it did not do it. I wanted a retest when I went long, but obviously didn't get it. So it failed at the high, tagged the opposite end range of this sideways action here. Now it broke lower. It stayed lower, wasn't able to get back into it. Now it's under the 10 and 20 and the 50 SMA. We have the 200 down here by 49, close at the weekly lows. I can't really tell too much of volume. Either way, this looks like it wants to head down maybe to 50 area. So this is a potential decent short play for me of the week. If the market wants to go short, then I'm going to go short. Tesla, I like Tesla. I follow Tesla. I probably trade Tesla the most out of anything, at least in the past. That red bar doesn't look the best. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens next week. I'm always looking to initiate a trade, but no plan. So I'm not going to, I won't enter without a plan. NVIDIA, this is just getting smacked. Everything's downtrending underneath the 50, underneath all the shorter term 200s coming up around 90 or so. This might just range here at 90, 96, something like that. Who knows? Starbucks, looking for this gap here to potentially hold. It is at the 20 EMA. So we'll see, green bar engulfed by red. So slow selling since then. We'll see what happens here. These are all bids waiting in here to be filled. So if we don't have enough supply, then it's not going to be filled and shorts will cover and sustain the price up there. I am a fan of shorting Bitcoin related stocks. If Bitcoin continues to want to be weak. Like I was saying prior, 2 weeks ago, I was like, I was looking here. If it accepted back in that range, then opposite end. But however, you need to wait for it to actually get into there. Otherwise, this happens. Now, unfortunately, I did miss the short on the retest of this zone. That would have been nice. I just lost it. So I lost track of it. So I missed this short, but it's a little extended. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 days down straight, higher volume. We might get a little bounce here. Bounces to 10, bounces to the 20. I think are potential short opportunities. Same thing for Riot, right? It just broke this low. Riot might actually provide a better short opportunity. Maybe it bounces a little bit in the morning to like 650. You could always put a stop around 720 above these two consolidation areas. Mara, I think, was similar. Mara's a little extended for me. Hut, I think, was decent. Hut, like a little bearish flag right here going down. So you could put a stop below or above Friday's high if you wanted to short this. I missed TR. I was looking for a range break here. Did break the range, failed, boom, came right back down to this range, then retested, and now it's going down. It's at the 200 now. So we'll see what happens. If it breaks these lows, who knows how low this can go. FTRE, I said this weeks ago after this large gap down because of earnings. I was looking for other potential ways to short this, whether it's a 10 EMA or a 20 EMA bounce. That's indeed what we got. There's still resistance here. It's this 23.75, and now it looks like after initial buying's done, this is going to start trending down. So that's kind of my look for the week. Sorry if it's a little too long.